Hello. Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, November 27th, 2024, the day before Thanksgiving. And I am coming to you from the beautiful state of Michigan, where it's about 40 degrees. And up north, they have some snow, but we don't have any snow down here yet. And I'm a person who likes snow, so having snow is okay with me. I know some of you prefer not to have any snow, but living in a state like Michigan, we got to expect some snow. So what are you doing this evening, the day before Thanksgiving? Maybe some of you are cooking. Probably a lot of you are cooking. If you're tuned in, you can go ahead and say hi in the comments and let me know what you're cooking. What are you up to? Let's see here. Yeah, I've got the comment section here. So anytime during the live, feel free to ask a question. It's always nice to just say hello and let me know where you're tuned in from. And so it's always nice in a live to be interactive and say, ask a question or something like that. Today, during the live, I'm going to teach you how to make pumpkin hot chocolate. It's one of my favorite wintertime drinks, warming, and it's a little more substantial than just hot chocolate because we're going to have a little bit of pumpkin in it. But pumpkin is also naturally sweet to the taste, so it's going to add another layer of sweetness to your hot chocolate. It's a simple recipe and it's very delicious. And I like to have, specialty drinks for the holiday. Now, I know a lot of people like eggnog, right? Even when I was a kid, never a fan of eggnog. Just didn't like it. I do have a healthy version of eggnog, which I don't have time to share with you today, but I am going to teach you the hot chocolate today. And you can put a little bit of nutmeg in this hot chocolate drink, and it'll remind you of eggnog. So being a chef, I actually like... I have, what's the word I'm looking for? I have the discretion. I always create recipes based on my personal favorite tastes, right? But every once in a while, I have students that request recipes, and I absolutely love that. And for instance, this summer, one of my students suggested in my grilling cooking classes, they wanted a recipe with strawberries because I don't like strawberries. Ever since I've been a kid, I just don't like strawberries. They're a very healthy fruit. They're good for you. I'm just not a fan. So a lot of my regular students have noticed throughout the years that I never teach a dessert recipe with strawberries. And it's kind of a joke, like whatever. But anyway, so I did grilled strawberries this summer for my student who wanted a strawberry recipe, and they all loved it. And so my upcoming class in December is a student requested recipe cooking class. One of my students said, can you teach us how to make a spinach feta pie? Okay. And I am vegan, all organic ingredients, whole food, plant-based. I don't use things that are refined and processed. And so I do get organic Fillo dough. As a matter of fact, the only time I really work with my organic Fillo dough, I don't make it from scratch. I get frozen organic Fillo dough. I do a few Fillo dough recipes, which me and my family absolutely love, but it's made with organic whole wheat flour, and many people are gluten-free. And so I have not taught a Fillo dough cooking class in probably over 10 years. I've been teaching cooking classes for 27 years. So like 10 years ago, before everybody went gluten-free, gaga crazy, I did teach a Fillo dough cooking class. But anyways, I have never eaten a spinach feta pie before. But my student said, can you make one? And I thought, okay. So did a lot of research, asked a lot of friends and family members, what does feta cheese taste like? Because I can honestly tell you, I remember tasting feta cheese once a long time ago when I was like 19, 20, and years old, and I just really did not like the taste of it. So I never ever ate feta cheese, and that was a long time ago before I became vegan and healthy, organic, whole foods. And so I don't even remember what feta cheese tastes like, but friends and family members were telling me, and I don't eat spinach. Spinach is a nightshade vegetable. I don't cook with nightshade vegetables. Many of my students know that already. And so I substituted kale. I love kale. I adore kale. And so I created this phyllo dough pie with vegan feta cheese and kale. And I created a couple versions, and I had some friends and family members be my taste testers. And at my Thanksgiving dinner last Saturday, I had 8 people here in my house, and I cooked the vegan, organic, whole food Thanksgiving dinner for them. I do that every year. It's my annual dinner. I gave them a sample, and a couple people said, "Wow, Val, this tastes like a spinach feta pie." I was like, "Awesome. I guess I nailed the taste." All right. So that cooking class is going to be the last cooking class in 2024. So I'm going out with a bang with my Fillo Dough cooking class, and that is on Wednesday, December 11th. Okay. This cooking class is both in person and virtual. So if you live here in Michigan and you're in my area, you can attend in person, where everybody helps make the food, everybody participates. It's a lot of fun, and we get to eat the food that we've created. But if you don't live in Michigan and you want to attend virtually, I have the class hooked up to Zoom, and you can attend virtually no matter where you live. I have a beautiful lady who lives down in North Carolina who attends. I have a gentleman in California who attends. And so we have a lot of fun, whether it's virtual or in person. And also in that class, besides the phyllo dough pie, I'm going to teach how to make phyllo dough roll-ups with my squash garlic sauce. That's one of my favorite recipes. I usually make it as a Halloween treat, but it's a festive treat. And then I'm going to make a dessert, a phyllo dough dessert with my blueberry jam. You can get whatever organic jam you get, and pecans. So there's going to be a dessert too. So 3 phyllo dough recipes. I'm going to teach you how to work with phyllo dough. It's very, very thin dough. You have to be really delicate with it. I love it. But again, for those of you who are gluten-free, this is not a gluten-free class. Most of my other classes are all gluten-free, but this one is organic, whole wheat flour, phyllo dough. Okay? Go to my website, macrovel.com. That's where you sign up for the cooking class. There's where you find all the information that you need about everything that I have to offer, and you can get one of my 6 cookbooks. Okay, so let's make some pumpkin hot chocolate. Hey, if you're tuned in and watching, go ahead and leave a comment and say, "Hi, Val," or "Where are you from?" or ask a question or put a comment. I greatly appreciate it, because any interaction that happens during the video, whether it's a comment, a like, a share, even if you're watching the recording of this later and you're not watching live, any interaction will boost the algorithms, which gets the video out there and more people can see it. Okay, so we're going to make this pumpkin hot chocolate. Now, because we're putting pumpkin in it, I do like to put it in a food processor, but you could also use a blender, because you want to make sure that the pumpkin is well incorporated. Okay, so I have organic pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie filling. Don't get the pumpkin pie filling, because that has other ingredients in it. That has a sweetener in it, and it has spices and things like that. And so you want the organic pumpkin puree. Hi, Heidi. I missed your Thanksgiving this year, Val. I did not know about it. Oh, sorry, Heidi. Sorry about that. But I'm so glad that you're tuned in, Heidi. Heidi is a dear friend of mine, sweetheart. And yeah, so we'll have to talk soon, Heidi. Heidi loves to do yoga, and she loves the water. And her and I this summer, I got a kayak this summer. In case you weren't following me, I mentioned it many times. And Heidi and I went out on the water together. We had such a great time. Yeah. So thank you so much, Heidi, for leaving a comment and tuning in. Okay. We want a third of a cup of pumpkin. Okay. So we got a third of a cup of pumpkin. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, pumpkin has a natural sweet flavor to it. So it's really it's gonna make the hot chocolate sweeter, but it's also going to make the hot chocolate, like I said, a little thicker, give you a little more body, for your hot chocolate. Here, let me move this over so it's not so. Is that better? Yeah. All right, let's put a third of a cup of pumpkin puree in there. I'll use that spatula again, I guess. Now, you're going to want a beverage, okay? And so I use non-dairy beverages. My favorite is rice milk. I have been drinking rice milk for 30 years. I've been teaching classes for 27, and I changed my diet, maybe 3 or 4 years before that. It's my favorite. I like the flavor of it. I like the consistency. I really like rice milk, okay? If you don't like that one, use whatever one you want. I know a lot of people tend to go with the almond beverage, and that's fine. A lot of people like that. I'm not a fan of it. You could use a soy. I do adore a soy, but make sure your soy is organic. Always has to be organic. Any non-dairy. Now, this I get rice milk, which is Rice Dream, my favorite. I recently got some oat milk. I do like oat milk too. And this one here is organic. And the reason why I like this one, because there's only 3 ingredients: water, organic oats, and sea salt. This one has a very plain flavor though. This one is not that sweet, okay? The rice beverage is going to be a little sweeter than this oat one. But again, this oat one only has 3 ingredients. So if you want to be a purist and whatever, you can use this, okay? Which I adore this one too. I use this in soups and sauces and things like that. But this is for the hot chocolate, the rice beverage is a little sweeter. So I'm going to go ahead and use the rice. So we want 1 1/4 cup. Okay, so there's 1 1/4 cup. Okay. Now we need something to make it sweet, okay? And my favorite sweetener, the one that I use all the time, brown rice syrup. This is Suzanne Specialties Rice Nectar. It's called rice nectar, but it is brown rice syrup made from organic whole brown rice, okay? I have 1 1/4 cup of brown rice syrup, and that's going in there right now too. And we want 1 tablespoon of organic unsweetened baking cocoa powder. Heidi says your pumpkin hot chocolate is so delicious. Thank you, Heidi. Yeah, thank you. So I get organic cocoa powder. Okay. You only need, like I said, 1 tablespoon. I put it in a smaller size container. It's easier to work with. This will give you like 2 big mugfuls. So this is like serving for 2 people. Okay. 1 tablespoon of, make sure it's unsweetened baking cocoa. I'm going to put a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon in there. I like a little bit of cinnamon in my hot chocolate. And then I'm going to put a pinch of cloves. Cloves has a little spice to it, a little bite, okay? So just put a pinch of cloves in there. And of course, you can adjust these flavors to your taste and see what you like. A pinch of allspice. Allspice is one of my favorite, favorite holiday spices is allspice. I adore allspice. And I'm going to put a pinch of sea salt in there. Why am I putting a pinch of sea salt? Because we're creating a sweet drink. And the salt helps to balance out the sweetness. And it actually makes the flavors shine through more. It makes it a little more delicious. Okay. Put a lid on it, and then we're going to puree. I always put like a cloth. When I'm doing liquid, I put a cloth over the food processor so that I don't run the risk of the liquid coming up and making a mess. All right, get yourself a saucepan. We're just going to put it in the saucepan. And you could use a blender for this. You don't have to use a food processor or any type of blending mechanism machine that you have. The brown rice syrup is sticky and it kind of stuck to the bottom. So I'm going to make sure to scrape all that out and get everything out of the food processor. Okay, there we go. Make sure you get all that delicious goodness out of there. Okay, I've created a mess here. Just scoop some of this up. All right, I'm going to put this on the stove. Okay, and then I'll move the camera over here so we can see what I'm doing. All right, I'm going to move the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. Going over to the stove now to heat up our hot chocolate. Pumpkin hot chocolate. There it is on the stove. Yeah. So thank you, everybody who's tuning in the day before Thanksgiving. Probably most of you are cooking. And if you want to share in the chat, what have you been cooking for your Thanksgiving dinner? If you have any cooking questions, I can answer those. And please hit the like button if you haven't hit that like button yet, because that helps with the algorithms and it helps more people see the video. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. Did you know on my YouTube channel, I have lots of informative cooking videos. And in one of my cooking videos on my YouTube channel, I share with you how to make one of my holiday favorite recipes, my fig blueberry sauce. So I have a nice little dish that I'm going to be eating with my family tomorrow. Fig blueberry sauce. I created this recipe many years ago because not really a fan of cranberry sauce. Cranberry is very sour and tart, although it's enjoyable. But I thought, why can't we have some other delicious fruit side dish? And so I originally created it with blackberries. It was fig blackberry, but now it's kind of evolved into fig blueberry sauce, right? And if you want that recipe again, go check out my YouTube channel and find that video where I walk you through step by step how to make that recipe. Or if you want the recipe, it's in my year-round Healthy Holidays cookbook. My whole Thanksgiving meal is in here. Ooh, Betsy says yum. Hi, Betsy. Thanks for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm just sharing what I made for my dinner tomorrow, one of which is the fig blueberry sauce. And then I also have the cranberry sauce made from scratch. And I like to add apricots to my cranberry sauce instead of oranges. Just not a fan of tropical fruit, so I use apricots, which is a good combination. I just made this one today. This is my beautiful, colorful side dish that I always serve with my Thanksgiving meal. It's sweet and sour, colorful kale, and it has some sauerkraut in it. This is like your palate pleaser because it's sour, it's pungent, it's sweet, it's salty, it's kind of bitter. It actually has all 5 flavors in it. That's a really good side dish for your Thanksgiving meal. All right, so the hot chocolate is starting to come to a boil. You don't really have to do anything to it. I'll just take a whisk to it, a little bit of a whisk. That's it. Back to my Thanksgiving dinner. Looking forward to eating Macroval food tomorrow, Betsy says. Thanks, Betsy. Betsy has come to my Thanksgiving dinner, my annual sit-down Thanksgiving dinner for many, many years now. Her and her husband, Brian, come. And so she was here Saturday for the meal. And she was able to purchase some of the leftovers for her dinner tomorrow. That's what she's talking about. This is my millet mash. I'll be serving this tomorrow. And I also served this Saturday. Millet instead of white potatoes, because millet is a whole grain. Very flavorful and wonderful. And of course, I'll be serving that with gravy. I'll be making the gravy tomorrow. These are just things that I've made up ahead of time, just sharing with you some of my Thanksgiving recipes. And one of my all-time favorite, pumpkin pie. I adore pumpkin pie ever since I was a kid. So this is one of my favorites. And my family really, really likes my pecan pie. So every Thanksgiving, I have pecan pie and pumpkin pie. And, well, the pecan pie recipe is in the Perceptions cookbook, because that's a recipe I created over 20 years ago. And this is my first cookbook. But all the rest of the recipes are in the year-round healthy holiday dishes cookbook, just so you know. Okay, sounds like our hot chocolate is boiling, bubbling. Oh, it is. It's boiling away. All right, as soon as it gets hot, just shut off the heat. If you take a whisk to it, it'll kind of froth up. And here's something that you might want to have in consideration. If you use a soy beverage to make this, and you whisk it, and you stand here and you whisk it, and you whisk it, and you whisk it, soy beverage will froth, okay? I'm getting a little bit of froth here with the rice, but I'm telling you, if you use a soy beverage, you'll get a froth if you stand there and whisk it. It's pretty cool. I really like it. It's really awesome if you do that. Let's see, I got a glass here for my hot chocolate. Now, here's beautiful pumpkin hot chocolate. What are we going to put with it? Well, I happened to whip up some aquafaba before I went live. So if you haven't seen me do whipped aquafaba yet, it's in the dessert cookbook. It's in the holiday cookbook. I've taught it how to do it a couple times in classes. I'm going to put a little more in there. But it's basically vegan, healthy whipped cream. And we can put some of that on top of the hot chocolate, and it'll melt in there. Or you could do the vegan marshmallows, right? These are Dandy vegan marshmallows. These are much sweeter. These are very sweet, as a matter of fact. But every once in a while, for a treat, you can put these little. I get the mini marshmallows. They melt better in your hot chocolate. Because the aquafaba whipped cream you may not always have on hand, but the mini marshmallows you probably do. Okay, so that is the pumpkin hot chocolate. All right, now. This is a delicious holiday drink, and it's a lot of fun. But let's say it's not the holiday, and you're just at home, and you just want to have some hot chocolate, and you don't necessarily have the pumpkin on hand, and you just want some easy hot chocolate. Well, I'm going to share with you what I do, okay? And it's quick and it's easy. It's not as fancy, and it's probably not as sweet as this drink, but here's what I do. I take my mug. Look, it's my Porcupine Mountains pink Upper Peninsula mug. I take my unsweetened cocoa, all right? And I just take a teaspoon of unsweetened cocoa. Doesn't even have to be fancy, just a teaspoon. Now, remember that cocoa is bitter to the taste, okay? So that's when I say this is just a quick hot chocolate thing sometimes that I do, but it's kind of on the bitter side because the chocolate really shines through, which I don't mind. I like, because I don't like really, really sweet things. I know most people like really, really sweet things, but I don't. And then back here in my pot, I have Kakusha twig tea all the time. This is what I drink on a regular basis. And I happened to heat it up before I went live. So it's hot, hot, hot. Okay. So I'm going to take the hot tea. Now I use Kakusha twig tea, but you could use hot water. Okay. This is like I said, this is a quick and easy thing. I do this sometimes when I want quick and easy hot chocolate, but you could do it with water. And I fill it up, but not all the way to the top. I fill it up and I start stirring the cocoa in it to dissolve. Okay. And then I take my brown rice syrup. And I just take a spoonful of brown rice syrup, and I add that to my hot liquid. Okay. I can pull the other one out. All right. And the hot liquid will melt the brown rice syrup. So in here right now, all I have is a scoop of cocoa, a scoop of brown rice syrup. I filled the rest up with hot tea. And now I'm going to top the rest of the cup with the rice milk, but you could use your favorite or whatever. And then I just drink this. Did you see how quick that was? This is your quick, not fancy, but absolutely delicious hot chocolate. Oh, yum. Yeah. See, I do this in the fall time when the temperature starts to get cold of outside and I want a hot drink. Betsy asked, teaspoon or tablespoon of rice syrup? I'm using my little, this would be like a teaspoon, but if you want it sweeter, you could add a little more. For me, I just do this little teaspoonful and it's plenty sweet enough. But taste it. If you want to add more, you can add more. Oh, that's so good. Here, let's taste the, this one's hotter. The pumpkin hot chocolate is super, super hot, which is why I didn't taste this one. This one's much hotter. Here. Oh my God, is that good? This one is definitely sweeter. Okay. The one I just showed you, my quick fix, is not as sweet, but so this one you would want to serve to your family and your guests. Okay. They would really like this because it's sweet. The one I just showed you, like I said, if you want a quick fix, this one's pretty darn good. Oof. See, I'm not a sweet person. I actually prefer the one that's a little more bitter to the taste, but that's just me personally. All right. So if you're tuned in and watching, I described some things that you may be unfamiliar with. So let me describe them for you. So again, I drink Kakusha twig tea all the time. Here's how you spell it. Kukicha. I've been drinking this for like 30 years. I still can't remember how to spell kakucha. So that's why we say twig tea. I can spell twig, right? Kakusha twig tea. Now, if you are familiar with macrobiotic cooking at all, you know that this is a traditional macrobiotic tea. And of course, that's where I learned about it because my background is in macrobiotic cooking. But my mother and her side of the family is from England. So I kind of have this background of drinking tea. I always prefer to drink tea over coffee ever since I've been a kid. I remember my grandmother on my dad's side, they were coffee drinkers. And my mom, on my mom's side, they were from England. They were like tea drinkers. And I remember my dad's mom, my grandmother, letting me taste her cup of coffee when I was a young girl. And I remember it was really bitter. And I remember I didn't like it. And so I've always stuck with tea. Always tea. Now, why is this a good tea? Well, Kakusha twig tea, as the name implies, it is the twigs. So the plant that grows the Chinese green tea that I'm sure you've all heard about the health benefits of Chinese green tea, antioxidant, anti-cancer properties. It's fantastic for you, right? Those are the leaves. And they pick the leaves early in the crop, right? Now they wait until the fall time to pick the twigs. That's what this is made out of, the twigs. And they actually roast the twigs and then they let them sit and age for a while. So they have a robust, strong flavor. So this is a brown tea. It's not a green tea. So I don't even, I've had green tea in the past. Not really a fan of it. Don't really like the taste of it, but I love the taste of brown tea. So this, because it's the twigs, this is a brown tea. Okay. So all those healing benefits that you heard about in Chinese green tea, it's in the Kakusha twig tea in smaller quantities. So Chinese green tea would be like medicinal purposes because it's strong. Kakusha twig tea is something you can drink every single day because you're getting antioxidants and anti-cancer properties in smaller quantities, but it'll help your body be stronger and fight off dis-ease because you're feeding it all the health benefits of the tea on a regular basis. Make sense? Okay. Hold on just a minute. Now, what is the difference between Kakusha twig tea and tea you're just going to buy at a store? Well, I found this out a long, long time ago. All commercially produced teas have dyes in them. Okay. And that's why when people drink tea, sometimes their teeth get stained. Okay. Now I've been drinking Kakusha twig tea for 30 years. My teeth are not stained and I drink it all the time because there's no dyes in Kakusha twig tea. But if you go with, just go to the grocery store and you get, I don't even know what it is, Sanka, or I think that's the name of it, something, I don't know, commercially produced teas, they have dyes in them. Okay. Now you can go to a health food store and you can get organic teas. I mean, very, very rarely I've drank in an organic breakfast tea or something like that. It's organic, so it doesn't have dyes in it, but that tea has caffeine in it. That's why I'm like, maybe once in 2 years, I might have a different kind of tea. I mean, that's how rare it is, So the Kakusha twig tea, the twigs have no caffeine. All the caffeine is in the leaves. Another reason why you can drink this on a regular basis, okay? So I literally drink Kakusha twig tea all the time, all through the day. So I have my pot of tea back here on my stove. Now in the wintertime, I just turn it on and I heat it up and I have a nice hot cup of tea. I adore a hot cup of tea. I always have a hot cup of tea before I go to bed. Always. And so during summertime, this is also here. Okay. And sometimes I do put it in the fridge. I don't really like cold beverages, but sometimes a nice glass of cold Kakusha twig tea is nice. Okay. Most of the time I drink it room temperature. Most of the time I don't heat it up. I just pour it in a glass and drink it right out of the kettle, room temperature. But the reason why I have it in the kettle is how you make Kakusha twig tea. So I've been teaching classes for 27 years and I serve this tea at all my cooking classes. And I always get asked, how do you make it? What do you do? Don't take one tea bag and make 1 cup of tea. That is so, so wasteful, right? So you take 1 tea bag, and this is my tea kettle. Okay. I fill it up with water. I put 1 tea bag in it and I bring it to a boil. Now this is twigs. This is not leaves. So you actually want to boil the twigs. Where some herbal teas, and I do use herbal teas for medicinal purposes, herbal teas you do not boil. You add the leaves or whatever to the boiling water. That's different. Kakusha twig tea, you boil because when you boil it, it becomes stronger. Okay. So I'll put 1 tea bag in there, fill it up with water, turn it on, bring it to a boil. It doesn't need to boil for any amount of time. And then I shut it off and I let it steep. And then I drink the tea. And once the tea gets down here, it's getting kind of low. I fill the tea kettle back up with water and I put another tea bag in it. I do not take the old tea bag out. And I turn it on and I bring it up to a boil. Now I have 2 tea bags in there. So the tea is a little stronger. So the first pot is a little weaker. The second one's a little stronger. Now I will do that up to 5 tea bags. But again, I'm drinking tea every single day. So the tea really doesn't sit there. I mean, if you drink 1 cup of tea every 5 days, you obviously can't do this. I'm just letting you know what I do. I keep adding tea bags to it and adding water and bring it up to a boil. And so that it gets darker and darker, the more tea bags I have in it. I like it like that. And then, that's just, what I do. Some things about Kakusha twig tea: it helps alkalize your system. And disease lives in an acidic condition, so we want to be alkalized. Helps aid in digestion, right? So it helps digest our food, which is another good thing. And again, all the healing benefits of the green tea without all the caffeine. It's fantastic for you. Okay. All right. So that's a little bit about Kakusha twig tea. Again, if you're just tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and leave a comment and say hello and let me know where you tuned in from. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're watching on YouTube, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And also, if you're watching on Facebook, you can hit that share button and share the video so more people can see the video. Okay. Some updates. Every single time I go live on Facebook and YouTube, I like to give you an update about the Porcupine Mountains. See my beautiful mug? Porcupine Mountains. If you don't know, the Porcupine Mountains are in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. My favorite place, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Look, here it is. The Porcupine Mountains are located right about there. Okay? Right in this area. This is the Keweenaw Peninsula, and the Porcupine Mountains are right here. This is our state park here in Michigan. In 2023, the Porcupine Mountain State Park was voted the most beautiful state park in the whole United States. We live in Michigan and we have mountains. How fun is that? I've been camping in the Porcupine Mountains many times, and it's absolutely beautiful. Well, guess what? They want to build a mine site right next to the Porcupine Mountains, right next to Lake Superior. The possibility of contaminating the Lake Superior and one of the largest supplies of fresh water in the world is very high. Not to mention the clear cutting that they've done of destroying the forest up there. And if you know anything about the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, there was back in the 1800s, they went mining for copper up there, and they did get a lot of copper, but all the copper's gone. They mined it all out. So this mine that they're proposing, there's not much copper left. Okay. It's kind of, in my opinion, from the information I've gathered, again, this is just my opinion. You go gather the information yourself, but it kind of sounds like a scheme to try and make money, because this company is from Canada. They've done things like this, and it just seems very improbable to have a mine built in this area. In August, when I was up there on vacation, I went and met Tom. Tom is the person who runs and created the website Protect the Porkies. He does not make any money off of this. He lives up there, and he wants to keep it beautiful up there, and he wants it to be quiet up there. You go there to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan because there's woods and forests for miles and miles, and it's very peaceful and it's very quiet and it's just beautiful. So to put a mine in there, nonstop light pollution all the time, nonstop noise all the time, okay, not to mention just destroying the wilderness up there. So anyways, I digress. There's no electricity up there where they want to put this mine site in. So they would have to build a whole infrastructure to come in there. When he told me that, I was like, oh, that's it. That's insane. That's crazy. There's like no electricity up there. They want to build a mine site up there. Why am I telling you all this? Because we need to act about this. Now, on the website, Protect Your Porkies, takes less than 5 minutes. You can just sign the petition that says, I don't want a mine next to the beautiful Porcupine Mountain State Park. Even if you don't live in Michigan, because people come from all over the world to visit the Porcupine Mountains. So you can sign the petition no matter where you live. Okay. Now, if you live in Michigan, I want you to listen and hear what I have to say. Last year, they voted to give a $50 million grant to the mining company. A grant from the state of Michigan is our tax-paying money. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want my tax-paying money to go towards the destruction of the wilderness up by the Porcupine Mountains. Now, they were going to do that, but then they tabled and they said, no, we're not going to do that. Probably from people's pushback. I wrote letters to my senators. I know I told everybody I could sign the petition. That makes a difference. So I thought this was null and void. Well, guess what? The Senate reintroduced this $50 million grant. So we need to act on this again. I'm going to share screen and I'm going to take you to the Protect the Porkies website. Okay, so this is Protect the Porkies website. It's a website that you need to go to, and you need to sign up for their email, sign up for any notification, because you will then know what's going on, what's happening. The grant is under consideration by the Michigan Senate. Defeat the $50 million taxpayer grant fund. Take action. This right here, if you go to take action, in the first week of December or potentially even earlier. Well, the first week of December is next week. Below you will find a few steps to help us make our voices heard. Out-of-state residents encouraged to participate. Out-of-state residents are encouraged to participate also. Calling and writing to the Michigan Senate Appropriations Committee. Email and phone number below. You can also use this fast action form. Takes just 2 minutes. So you can fill out this form. Takes 2 minutes. This is for organizations. If you happen to know an organization that might be interested in getting into this, that's for you. If you live in Gogaback County or Ontonagon County, this is step 3. This is for you. Sign the petition. I mentioned that. And then if you want to help the cause, you're more than welcome to donate. But again, Tom is doing this just because he wants to stop this. So that is what needs to be done right now. Protect the Porkies. If you want more information, the homepage shows you a map where the proposed mine site is going in. The Presqu'île Isle River that is at risk for contamination. Here's where the gravity could possibly spill all the waste into Lake Superior. There's all this. And my favorite thing here is the videos. Go to audio and video and watch some of these videos. Some of them are only a couple minutes long. Some of them are longer, but they'll explain more about what's going on and what it looks like there. And yeah, it's pretty sad what they've done so far. All right, let me stop share screening. Stop share screening. Okay. Yeah, so I always like to keep you updated about what's going on with Protect the Porkies, because it's very important to me to save the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in this beautiful area. And people's voice makes a difference. Okay. So also, I told you about the cooking class. Go to macroval.com, my website, and check out the upcoming Fillo Dough cooking class. There it is, macroval.com. The aquafaba on the pumpkin hot chocolate is melted now. Oh, just so good. Oh, they're so good. Some ways that you can learn more about healthy eating, because that's what I'm all about. You can subscribe to my blog, Substack Valerie Wilson. My latest blog, I shared a recipe for a roasted rutabaga and vegetable dish. And let's see, share screen. I will share screen again. Nope, that's not what I want. Here it is. All right, let's take a look at this. Substack, Valerie Wilson. Here's all my Substacks. Now you can subscribe for free, or you can subscribe for a very, very small fee, a monthly fee, which helps me in my business because I write all these blogs. I talked about this in the last live, boycott Kellogg's, get the word out. This one here is about brown rice syrup instead of white refined sugar. We use brown rice syrup in the hot chocolate today. And I get asked that question every time I teach a cooking class. What do you use instead of white refined sugar? Brown rice syrup. I go into some other so-called healthy sweeteners in that blog also. Here's Protect the Porkies Up Close and Personal. And then there's well, that's for summer and everything, but Protect the Porkies Up Close and Personal. This is when I went up to the Porcupine Mountains in August. Do you see this? This is where they clear cut the forest and they've created these very unnatural places that they want the water to flow. There's Tom, the creator of Protect the Porkies. This is the North County Trail, this beautiful wilderness trail that goes in the woods. And right over here in the woods, that's where they're proposed the mine site. So it's right next to this beautiful hiking trail. Yeah, they've clear cut all this. They've already started to just ruin the wilderness there. And the reason I asked Tom, because I get asked this question all the time, how can they do this? How can they clear cut and make room? It's the permits and everything. They actually got the permits to go in there and cut trees and clear cut this before they even have a permit for the mine. See, the mine has not been approved yet. These people are just proposing doing this, but they've been able to go in there and clear cut the wilderness, and just not a good thing. Anyways, that's my Substack. And Betsy says, thank you, Val. Great recipes and tips. We signed the porcupine petition. Thank you. Thank you for signing the petition. Greatly appreciate it. By the way, I forgot to mention, but guess what? This recipe is my recipe of the month. If you go to my website, every month I have a recipe of the month. See, recipe of the month. Click on it. Here is November, pumpkin hot chocolate. And recipe of the month 2024 archives. Here's the fig pumpkin oat breakfast cookie, boiled squash and sweet potato with tofu sauce, buckwheat pancakes with fresh blueberry sauce, blueberry pie, grilled peaches, asparagus and radishes, the whole grain barley, roasted vegetables with Brussels sprouts. Miso soup was February's recipe, and how to cook the whole grain kasha. So those are going to stay on the website. I'm going to have like a collection of monthly recipes. So every month, make sure that you go and check out the recipe of the month. And then if you go to the homepage down here, it says sign up for Macroval's newsletter. You put your name and email here. That keeps you updated. I send out a weekly newsletter. I keep you updated about all my upcoming cooking classes, all my blogs, all of the information about Protect the Porkies and other information that I find. Okay. So this is my website. Make sure you go there. And that is the Thanksgiving dinner that we had Saturday. Now, if you didn't come Saturday, I'm sorry. I only offer this once a year. You have to wait till next year. Okay. Now, if you have any health issues whatsoever, here's my counseling page. I do one-on-one lifestyle counseling. Here's a wonderful testimonial here from Evelyn, a lady that I worked with, and the things that she overcame. Very, very nice testimonial. Yeah, so that's my website. Stop screen sharing. Stop screen sharing. All right. Well, that's pretty much the live that I had planned for you today. And so I hope you get a chance to make the pumpkin hot chocolate and let me know how it goes for you. If you want more holiday recipes, got the year-round healthy holiday cookbook. We have the upcoming Fillo Dough cooking class. And also coming in January, there'll be all new cooking classes, all new recipes. And so, yeah, I hope everybody has a beautiful, wonderful day tomorrow. I hope that your food is absolutely delicious. and that your company is full of love. I hope there's a lot of laughs, because laughter is one of the best medicines. It's good for your health. It's good for your heart. It's good for your spirit. Laughter is just really good for you. And I hope that that happens tomorrow. I hope you have a peaceful get together. And I also hope that you take a moment to reflect on all the things that you're grateful for. I'm very grateful to be coming to you live on YouTube and Facebook. I'm very grateful for being able to do what I love for a living. I'm very grateful to all of you for watching. I'm very grateful to all my students, all my customers, all the people that follow me. I'm very grateful to my loving family. I have a wonderful family, my loving friends. And of course, I'm very grateful for my 5 adorable cats. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Go ahead and leave a comment, and I will definitely respond to it. For now, get in the kitchen and cook healthy.